If you've got high blood pressure and you're looking for safe ways to relieve it, then in this video, I'm going to show you 2 of the best science-backed exercises to help you do that. If you don't know who I am, my name is Harlow and I'm the Over-Fifties specialist physio here at HT Physio in Farnham. And my goal with these videos is to make them more valuable than any paid treatment you've had in the past. Now, high blood pressure is a common but devastating problem. It causes a whole host of health problems like issues with the cardiovascular system, so it can cause issues like heart attacks and strokes. It can cause damage to the kidneys. It can cause damage and illness to other parts of the body and many other issues as well. So having high blood pressure is a bad thing, and anyone who has high blood pressure should certainly get some advice from their doctor about how to treat it. Now, many people with high blood pressure are looking for alternatives or complementary things to medication to help them to reduce it. And one of the best ways to reduce high blood pressure is certain types of exercise. Now, there was a very recent review study carried out by a researcher called Edwards and colleagues. This was done in this year, 2023, and basically it compared all of the different trials that had looked at different types of exercise and what effects they had on blood pressure or arterial blood pressure. Now, this study found something very interesting. It found that many of the different types of exercises were good at reducing high blood pressure, but there was one type of exercise that was better than all the others at reducing high blood pressure across the study. Now, this type of exercise is called isometric exercise. An isometric exercise basically means contracting a muscle without any movement happening. So I'll show you an example of isometric exercise. We're going to look at my bicep for a minute just because it's an easy muscle to visualize. And if we do this, so I put one hand on top of the other and I try and pull my arm up towards me, this is an isometric muscle contraction. So you can see that the muscle's switching on, but there's no movement happening because this arm is resisting the movement. Now, contrast that with the other types of exercise. You've got concentric exercise like this, where the muscle gets shorter, and eccentric exercise like this, where the muscle gets longer. Isometric is about a static hold. So isometric exercise was shown to be 98% effective at reducing high blood pressure in the studies shown. And in today's video, I'm going to show you 2 fantastic isometric exercises that you can use to help you reduce blood pressure too. Now, before I show you the exercises, it's important to note that these aren't going to be suitable for everyone, especially if you have high blood pressure. Make sure you just get checked out by your doctor first to discuss suitability. And if they cause you more pain, then definitely avoid them as well. Anyway, let's have a look at the exercises now, and you can make a judgment as to whether they'll be suitable for you. So I'm going to show you 2 great examples of isometric exercises that can be used to reduce high blood pressure. And the reason I've picked these 2 exercises is A, because these are some of the ones that were studied in the review study I mentioned earlier, and B, these are compound exercises, which means they work multiple different muscles at the same time, so you get enormous bang for your buck. So let's have a look at the 2 exercises. The first one is called the wall sit. And this exercise is a fantastic isometric exercise for your thighs and for your buttocks. And it's very easy to do. Obviously, only do this if it's comfortable. But what you're going to do is you're going to stand against a wall with your back against the wall and your feet probably about 1.5 feet away. So your heels are about 1.5 feet away from the wall. Very simply, you're just going to take this position and start to slide down the wall until you reach a point where you feel you've hit a limit, where you start to feel your leg muscles working. And all you do is you sit in this position. So this is a great exercise for people who want stronger quads. It's a commonly done exercise for skiers. You can see why, because obviously skiers have to be in this kind of squatted position for a long time. It's also common in horse riders. We also call this the horse riding stance because jockeys and people who ride horses obviously have to squat down and stand up on the stirrups as they ride the horse. And holding this position becomes quite difficult after a while. You can start to feel your thighs burning. Some people will get a bit of a burn in their glutes as well. And with any isometric, what we're looking to do is to hold the position for a sustained period of time. So ideally you want to have at least 30 seconds in terms of a hold. If you can't hold for 30 seconds in this position, you might try doing it but coming up a little bit more. Or if you find a minute very easy, then you might want to go even further down. The further down you go, the harder the exercise will be, and you'll really start to feel this kick in. You want your knees to be in line with your toes. That's also quite important, so we're not like that or like that. And then doing this exercise and holding it for a period of time is a great way to encourage this kind of isometric contraction in the legs, and has been shown to be really good for blood pressure. So that's your first exercise. Now, the second great isometric exercise we can use to reduce high blood pressure is the plank. And I've chosen the plank because it's a great isometric for our core muscles. It's good for the upper body as well because we have to weight bear through the arms, and it's an exercise that lots of people already know about and have practiced in the past. It's also one that you can do with a variety of different ability levels. So I'm going to show you a couple of variations of the plank and how to do it. So we'll start with the full plank, which is the hardest version really. And what you're going to do is you're going to get into position like this. You have your elbows on the floor and you're going to put your weight out behind you like this with your legs out there, and you're just going to pop up onto your toes like this. Now the goal of the plank is to keep your back as straight as possible. So we don't want you sagging down to the floor like this. We don't want you up in the air with your bum sticking up like this. It should be as flat as possible. And make sure you're still breathing as you do the plank. You don't want to be holding your breath. So that is the plank. It's a great isometric. You can feel your tummy muscles working very hard to do it. But for many people, that's going to be too hard. So we can make the plank easier by doing a knee plank instead. So I'm going to show you a knee plank now. It's exactly the same, but we're just going to go onto our knees rather than our toes. So you would start like this with your knees on the floor. The further out you take your knees behind you, the harder it gets. So if I shuffle back a bit more like that, that makes it hard. But equally, if I bring myself up like this, that makes it a lot easier. So this is a really good place for people to start. If you can do 30 seconds of a plank like this, you'll start to get the benefits. If you can't do 30 seconds, try and build up. If you can do more than a minute in the knee plank, you can give a go to the full plank instead, and that will make it harder and challenge you enough to start to get some of these adaptations we're looking for. For both of these exercises, a program of doing it about 3 times a day, doing a couple of minutes each exercise would be fantastic, and that will give you a great head start in the right direction. If you can't do that much, that's absolutely fine. I would just try and cut back until you find something that's manageable for you, but doing some of these is always better than not doing it at all. So those are 2 of the best exercises for reducing high blood pressure. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please hit like and subscribe to the channel, and then leave a comment below because I love to read your thoughts. If you want to get more from me, the best way to do that is to grab a copy of my book. You can find it on Amazon. It's called Thriving Beyond 50, and it's got loads more tips, tricks, and strategies like the one in this video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate your time, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next video.